Good morning and welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. I was just starting to film and then look who decided to join us this morning. But she's chasing the sunshine. I know she is. So I hope you guys don't mind her being up here. It is like a new thing. She comes to visit me like every day. And I wasn't even working on my table yesterday morning and she jumps up here and she just sits up here. I don't know. It's like her new thing. But anyway, so Rhoda challenged me to shop my stash and work on another small project. So I'm going to do something small again. And then Bernice, I'm going to explain that thing you asked me to explain. So I shopped my stash, Rhoda. I went and I had this bag of paper that somebody had sent me in a de-stash swap or just a happy mail. I don't know. I've had this for a few years. Honestly, I've never even looked through the whole bag. So I started to go through it. I was getting all excited and then I thought, wait and share. Just stop what you're doing and share. So honestly, I just knew what colors they were, okay? And since I did the navy and pinks there, I didn't want to do navy or pink this morning. So I said, let's see what we have. So I have these, you guys know I love like glassine bags, and look at all these really cool bags in here, except I can really see the glue. I don't like that very much, but look at the shape on these bags. Oh, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, that hit me so fast. I couldn't stop fast enough. I'm so sorry if that was loud. But these little bags, I love them, love the shape of them. They are so much fun. I have to watch her because she's been biting stuff. She was trying to bite this journal when I was working on it. And I'm like, what are you doing? Okay. There's a sheet of rub-ons. Super cute. I didn't know these were in here. Love, love, love them. But I don't know if it goes. So as we flip through the paper, we'll decide like what works and what doesn't work. Oh my gosh, it's my allergies. This sewing machine, I love it. I'm not using it in this project. That's going to go in the bin for my sewing project that I'm saving for. This is like a pre-made pocket, I think, or somebody's made it. I don't know, but it's bigger than what I think I want to use, but we may still be able to cut this down and use it somehow. I love this with the ledger. Love it. That's a pocket of some sort. I don't know what brand this paper is, so maybe we'll stumble across the name of it somewhere in this stuff. Oh my word. Oh, hang on again. There is something in the air today. Here's a card, and these are like pre-made ephemera bits because I can see like they've been punched out along the edges there. Don't know if you can see like the little, the paper leaves the little attachment thingies. And then a borrower's card. So that, I'm assuming, goes in there, maybe, but it doesn't really fit. So that's okay. We'll figure it out. Set those aside for now. Chloe, would you move? She gets up here, she tries to eat things. Like I have this pin. My friend sent me this and I love it. It says Snarky. It's so funny. I can get hold of it. And she thinks that's her personal toy. She thinks everything on my desk is hers. Okay, here's a postcard. Again, more of those ephemera bits that are pre-made. This is color book, 6 fabric stickers. So I don't typically buy pre-done stuff like this, so it's kind of fun that it's in this. Would you move? It's in this bag of stuff. Okay, so these are like some punch out letter banners. Some humongo flowers. So you'll know this isn't really my style, right? So this will be a challenge to see how we can use these bits and get rid of this bag off of my shelf. Okay, this is double-sided paper. Now I do like the brown. I do like the flourish. So that'll be something we can use. And this is like a postage stamp shape here. And if we look at it in context of a smaller project, then it won't be so in your face, I think. But it's got like sages and the light blue, which I did have green in this and I did have blue in this. I thought it was more teal based on that top image, but these are all colors that we know I like. There's a keyhole here. There's no place like home. A key down here. Some solid on the back. some like scripty background and a floral down here. That's really pretty, like weathered. So it does kind of have like the teal and blue and brown, very vintage vibe, very vintage colors. So I'm really surprised. I mean, these are the same colors, but to me, the glittery polka dot doesn't match kind of the vintage feel of the papers. So we'll see where this leads us. All right, and there's shadows. I can't help it. The sun is just at an angle, obviously. And oh, I love the back of that. Okay. And the yellow. Okay. I had picked up a different pad. Be honest, I picked up a different pad. But when I was flipping through it, I was like, oh, these colors lend themselves to coordinate with the Graphic 45B pad that I have. And so I put it back on the shelf. So I'll say I did have a different one. And then this was beside it. And I said, I need this off my shelf. So let's go with it. Oh, that is like blue ledger paper. Hope you can see that in the shadow. So what I think we're gonna do is hopefully I can get enough small cuts out of this to work. I'm thinking let's do like a mini file folder folio type deal with some flips, some flaps. I thought about envelopes, but I can't deal with getting the envelope bin out of the closet by myself yet. And Mark is busy and I'm not going to bother him for something like that because God love that man. Y'all, he's taken such good care of me. I feel so bad for how much he is doing for me. And I'm getting better. I'm able to do a few things. Like I said in the last video, I'm using a backpack. And so that's helping me like carry my stuff around. But gosh, he's just been so good. I'm a weekend, so hopefully by next week, you know, I'll feel stronger. A little over a week. Okay, we have some flowers here. So maybe. This is a big ampersand, so probably won't use that for anything, but the little bits in here that aren't punched out might be kind of fun little embellishment pieces. Paper doily. A big ticket. So some of these things I thought, well, maybe we'll determine the size of the journal by the size of the ephemera pieces. However, there's nothing that says we can't cut these into smaller pieces, right? So like I said, I don't buy stuff like this. Now these already have tape on them. Like somebody gave this to me out of their stash, so I've never flipped through here. I have no idea what all's in here. All right, so we're just gonna, that's got tape on it. Ooh, there's a little bag with some script. It's stuck together, but we're gonna get that apart gently, hopefully not wreck the bag. Okay, I got a little tear in it, but that's okay. That is okay. All right, so how fun. Antique papery color book, maybe 11 years old, so it probably makes it like 15 years old at this point. And yeah, so this was the note she included with the paper, so I would know what it was. That's a cool tab. That'd be a cool pocket. More glassine bags, huge bits, scrapped. But these are punch outs. You can tell by the edges, again, by the little, can you see that? Okay. So there's those, some, ooh, buttons, a big bird cage, flower stickers. Okay, more of these, another bag, another tab, bird. Okay, so, and we've already been through the rest of this. So let me see what color file folder I have, if we just want to use a normal color or if I have a color in my stash, not navy, because we just used a navy. I have gray, but I don't think gray will work. So I think we may just have to use a regular colored one. But let me see what colors I have, and then I'll be back. Okay, I found this White Promenade smooth cardstock. It's 78 pounds. It's a color book. It's $2. I got this on clearance at Walmart. And it has a very lovely soft yellow, which is probably not translating because of the sun. So I am going to pull some sheets of this out. Although 78 pounds, that's not very heavy, is it? Maybe I won't. Okay, so back to the yellow, because I got these are not my heavy duty file folders, they're my regular file folders, and when I flick them, I don't think there's much difference in the weight. I mean, like this might be 80 pound. This is, what did I say? 78 pound. I mean, there's very little difference. So I think, I know you can't see that, but I think we're gonna use the yellow because I like it and it's in my stash. And what if you don't have file folders and you wanna play with something? So I'm going to pull these yellow sheets out, and I am going to pull them all out. I'll put them back in this thing if I don't use them. So let's pull those out. I'm gonna set these, I'm gonna go put these back on the shelf in a minute, because if I walk away, she's gonna lay right on top of my stuff again. Okay, so now we have to figure out a design and a size. And so this was like 4 5/8 tall by 3 1/2 wide. I think that might be a little small for this. So let's go with, these are 12 by 12 sheets. So let's go with like a 4 by 6 size. I think that will be good. I think that will be fun. And it will allow us to use some of these bits. It may not allow us to use them all, but I don't necessarily need or want to use them all. Even if I went 5 by 7, but if I go 5 by 7, let's see. And I know this is probably tedious and you guys are like, make up your mind before you start filming. So this is 4 1/2. So if we go 5 by 7, that's still going to use the majority of these pages for bases and stuff. I think that'll be a good size. We'll go 7. We'll go, for our base pieces that we're going to cut, let's get a piece of paper here. What did I do with my notebook? So let's think this through. Okay. So if our base is going to be 5 by 7 here, this is going to be 7 tall and 5 wide, right? Nope. These are our pages. And then our base is going to be 7 1/2 and 5 1/2. That's going to allow us for an 1/8 of an inch, you know, border all around. And then we'll do some pockets, and then we'll have a base, and maybe we'll make it like a little book. You guys know I like to do that. I like to have them clean. So we'll have our base here that's like, that's going to be our back spine for whatever size, and then we'll have maybe a flap on the side of some sort, and something in the middle, and we'll have some interactive pieces. So let me get some base pieces cut, and I'll fuss with it, and then we'll talk about those things. Before I do that, Bernice, I didn't answer your question, which I should have done at the beginning of the video, and I do apologize. So you asked me about this piece here. I believe this is what you're asking me about, right? So this is just a piece of paper. It's index paper, you know, I was using the bits. It's 3 1/2 inches tall. So whatever size for your paper, it doesn't have to be. You can do this in any size. Do I have a scrap available? I cut bits out of this, but just pretend. So, you know, you fold your top down to make your point like an envelope, okay? And then you bring your bottom up, and then that point is going to flip over like so. Then you just stitch it in And then I just added a little pocket to it. You can see it's stitched in the middle there, okay? So like this would have been the bottom of what like this. And you want to watch your direction too of your, you may need to turn it upside down, so that way when you fold your bottom up, you can read your text the right way. So this one, I didn't glue the edges to make a pocket. Obviously, in these back ones, I stitched them in and glued them down and made them pockets. So I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, shoot me a message and I'll try to answer it better, okay? All right, I'll keep working here. So I'm thinking through my design here, and let's be real. I don't make small journals. I tried. This is an 1.5 inch spine. If I force myself, I could probably do an 1 inch spine. That could be part of the challenge, but there's more paper here, I think, than a 1 inch spine is going to allow for. And I want to use a good bit of that. I don't want to have too many scraps. So this is 12 by 12 paper. So I was thinking if I score this at 5.5 to make my front flap, and I come in here and score 5.5, it's only going to leave me a 1 inch gap. And that's not going to work for me. We know that's not going to work for me. But we can always join these pieces. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to score this at 6, because that's going to give me a 1/2 inch for any kind of trim or bits. No, because then I'm still using normal size paper. So does that really make it a small project? It does not. So we're going to go 4 by 6 because that's going to be smaller. So 4.5 would still give me my 1/8 inch overhang. So if I go 4.5 and then 4.5 this way, that gives me what? 1, 2, 3 inches. I don't think we'll be doing a 3 inch spine. Okay. So I like the idea of the 4.5. And so what I'll do is I'll come in 5 from both sides and score. Now that's a 2 inch spine. And I think that's probably more appropriate because that gives me still that 1/2 inch overlap, right? So let's go. What did I say? We're going to come in 5 from both sides. And I am scoring all the way down, which is going to score this paper, but that's okay. And then, so if I go 4 by 6, but I'm allowing, I only want to go 6.5 on my height because I don't need room for anything on the tops or the bottom of the pages, I think. We can go 6.5. Let's limit ourselves. Let's do it. 6.5 on the height. Okay. So 6.5 on the height. Oh, now that's a fun little piece to work with though, what's left over. What does this measure? It's gonna be 5.5 tall, isn't it? That's really cute. Do we want to do something like that instead? Valleys make mountains. We're going the wrong way. Now that could be cute, more boxy. No, stick with the plan, Jody. Stick with it. Because and the reason I like this, I like this size, but I want to use this paper really well and get rid of it. Okay, so there we go. Now what we can do is add some little flippy floppy whatevers to make. We can box it. You know, guys know I like to box these, which I could have taken that into account, but I didn't because my paper is only 12 inches. So we're going to go with it. So what we can do is, now I wish I hadn't done this like I did, but that's okay. I can use this for pockets and tags and whatever. Okay, so then what's going to happen is I'm going to have to make some other pieces for this. I'd like a couple flaps, you know, top, bottom, interactive pieces, and I need to allow some room in this. You guys know I love to make folio style stuff, so is this really challenging myself? I think it is though, because I'm using something out of my stash that's been there for literally years. Okay, so width-wise, all of these panels are going to work. So let me just cut these down to like, what did I do? 5 on the score. So let's take a 1/2 inch off on both of these and cut these at 4.5. And I'm loving that jagged edge. I'm purposely not cleaning that up. Okay, so there's that. So then what we can do is make some flaps. So I will score this at, my hands hurt so bad, you guys. The 1/2 inch. Let's just do a 1/2 inch on both of these. It doesn't really matter what side, just the short edge, we're scoring that. Okay, and then we're going to miter these so that they'll tuck behind whatever we want to tuck them behind. And they don't have to be perfectly the same. You're just hiding them. Don't have any idea where I'm going with this. Okay, so that would be like a flap coming down. Will you stop? She has to just be in the middle of it. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do this another 1/8 of an inch in. Let's go from this side. Hey, move your carcass, dude. 1/8 of an inch in. Move yourself, silly. Okay, so that will give us room then for whatever we want to put in here. And of course, I'm not going to glue it down yet. So, I mean, it could still end up being. But see, this is like now a spine for the top or the bottom. So it's just 1/8 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch. And so, you know, we could do one on the top. We could do one on the bottom. We have to determine if we want side closures, pockets, or anything like that. How much of this we want. I may do another one and have it have like the policy closure. So we'll work on that as we get going. We're gonna need some pages made and I will figure that out. And this spine, what did I do? That's a 2-inch spine. So we will probably do, so let's see. If I come in, I always try to come in 1/4 of an inch at least. So that would leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12/8 in the middle. So if I divide that by like 4, that would be 3/8 apart. I know this is too much math this morning. So if we do 4 signatures, so spine, so this would be 1/4 inch, this would be 1/4 inch, and then 4 signatures, 3/8 of an inch apart. That should balance that and everything be centered in that spine. So that tells me what I need to build. It doesn't have to have a lot of pages either. So I'm gonna go through this paper pad and kind of see what I wanna use and continue to kind of work on this, and then I'll get some measurements for you. And yeah, I'll be back. So I'm just gonna talk about this for a minute more, and then I'm gonna end this video because I just feel like it's been a whole lot of blabbing, but really it's been a whole lot of brainstorming. I shouldn't be so mean to myself. We should not be mean to ourselves when we're doing these sorts of projects. So I'm excited, but this is a project type that I do love. And right now that's going to be really good for me, for my mental state. I love it. My oldest son just texted me and said, "How you doing?" And I was honest with him. You know, I'm really struggling with being down like I am. Physically, I'm feeling better, but mentally, it's just, this is a battle. Faux show. All right, so I have my tab punch board, and because it is the style of journal that it is, and we know I love doing this, we are just going to tab our flaps. And then I will kind of talk to you a little, ow, that hurts so bad. You know, my palms are so sore from the stinking crutches. Like, oh my gosh, so painful. Anyway, like I clapped. Mark and I were watching a show the other night, and I already knew how it was going to end, but I still got excited for the character because she was in a jumping competition with her horse, and I knew she was going to win, but I got all excited anyway, so I clapped when she won, and then it literally brought tears to my eyes, and Mark's like, "Well, you know not to clap. Your hands hurt." And I was like, "Don't talk to me like that." Okay, so this one you'll see has score marks in it, and it was just kind of a mistake piece, a leftover piece, and so I'm going to use it as a pocket, and those score marks are not going to matter because it's going to be covered, hidden, whatever. All right, so let's set this aside. So you'll see I have pencil markings on my bits. So front and side, front, back and side, back. And that is just so that as I'm working on this, I don't make a gooby mistake. So I'm going to have this front flap, so it's going to be a box. You guys know I like to make boxes. And anyway, so it'll be clean. So that's going to be the front flap. This mistake piece is going to be a front flap pocket like this. Okay. So I'm not going to glue the, just hang on. And then this one is going to be a back flap here. I know you're not seeing that because all the colors are blending. I obviously haven't inked anything, but that's the thing I was going to say before I told myself to hang on. Back flap, front flap bottom, front flap top. And this is going to have like a policy closure on it with like about a 1/2 inch gap if I did my math right. So this will be like over the top like this, and then this is going to close and be a box. I mean, how many times have I made boxes, you guys? And I love it so much. But anyway, okay, so what's going to happen now off film is I am, well, not in this video anyway. I'm going to pick a couple of ink colors. I want to spray these, get them dry. I may have to iron them because I don't know how well they're going to take being sprayed with the wet. Or maybe I'll just ink them so I don't have to get them all wet. I don't know. Anyway, do some stamping around the edges, kind of grunge up the edges a little bit. I don't know what colors I'm going to use yet. I'll figure that out. Get it all inked up, and then get some panel pieces covered. And we will talk about colors and stuff in the next video. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your encouragement. Rhoda, I got excited when you challenged me to pick something else from my stash and use it. And I do want to say that it's kind of fun because like in this, when I was sitting there and I saw the remnants of the Blossom kit, I was like, hey, those colors work. Let's do something with that. And I think what we do is we use a paper pad, we sit it on our shelves, and then we don't touch it again. Even though it's beautiful paper, it's sitting there. And I know for me, like once I've used a paper pad, maybe once or twice, I'm kind of over it. And then it just sits on our shelves, which I think is what happened with this one for the person that sent it to me, is she had already used it for its purpose, and these were just leftovers. So I think that maybe in the future when I'm done with paper pad, I'll just offer it up, and if somebody's interested in it, we will work out some arrangements there. That keeps my stash down, gives you something new that perhaps you haven't worked with. So let me know your thoughts on that idea, if that's something that you're interested in or not. Okay, so I am going to end this here, start getting this uploaded, start cutting some, no, I'm not going to cut bases. I'm going to choose inks first. So I will see you in the next video, and we will talk about inks. Okay, bye.